In headlines, 3 survivors of a collision between a goods train and a truck in Mpumalanga are discharged from hospitals, and Eastern Cape management still busy assessing damages. I'm Makalan Gift Mpokane with your latest news. All but 3 survivors of a collision between a goods train and a truck which occurred in Hector Spruit, Mpumalanga on Friday morning have been discharged from hospitals. 25 people were killed and more than 20 injured when a train hit a truck in which farm workers were traveling. Some survivors have accused the driver of being reckless. The lawyer representing the families of the victims, Vusi Mboweni.
Most of the people were in the hospital as being discharged. So yesterday there was at least 3 people who were still being treated, but the information is that their health is at least improving. So we're just hoping that they'll also be discharged soon. Another thing that we also want to try and do at least by tomorrow or as soon as possible is at least engage the road accident funds to see if they'll be able to assist with the funeral expenses instead of waiting for the claim to be instituted.
The Road Management Traffic Corporation says the N1 between Beaufort West and Richmond in the Western Cape remains closed. Last night, emergency services personnel were on a high alert on roads were grounded because of a heavy snow that affected the Southern Cape but now turned to ice. The corporation spokesperson Ashraf Azmil says conditions are slippery and extremely dangerous.
We would like to advise all motorists to keep within the speed limit and to adjust speeds according to prevailing conditions. We are also asking them to travel with the headlamps switched on during the day and to observe safe following distances. All occupants to be buckled up at all times.
The United Nations says the current political crisis in Mali poses a great security threat to Western African region. Region bloc ECOWAS is considering military intervention after Islamic fighters and Tuareg rebels seize the north of the country. Addressing the plenary session African Union Summit in Ethiopia capital Addis Ababa, UN Deputy Secretary General Jan Alice has condemned the activities of the Islamic rebels.
The situation in the north of Mali, where armed militias and terrorist groups continue to control local populations, is alarming and is a threat to the region, and I would say beyond. The destruction of historical sites is shocking and outrageous. Extremist groups and criminal networks are spreading rampant fear and insecurity. Weapons are being trafficked over porous borders.
Disaster management is currently assessing the extent of damage the heavy rains and snowfall have caused in some areas in the Eastern Cape. Several roads have been closed again due to snowfall. Some of the roads are still closed. John Fabian is a disaster management in the Eastern Cape.
For the 5 major dams in Port Elizabeth that are already over 500% full, and the rivers are flowing strongly. So we could suspect more dams or more flooding in areas, and then we also request the people not to cross low water bridges on foot or in vehicles, because with the strong flowing rivers and the flooding rivers, they could be swept away or washed away and could cause further problems.